deep under the surface of our world lies ancient cities. Ancient cities are older than this world, but how, might you ask? How might structures this old be older than the world? Today, Komisch is releasing its info on its ancient city lab that has been studying continuously for half a month. And we are releasing all our info to the public and the location of where it is. So please sit back as we give you the information from our findings of this ancient city. Operations have just begun on the ancient city lab. Thanks to the financial backing of the ASI, we will have enough funding to continue studying of the supernatural properties of this ancient city. Our main studies of this ancient city will be the Skulk. The Skulk is high interest to me, personally. I don't know about the ASI, though. But I want to study the Skulk the most. And not just to have the Skulk there, I'm just going to have a Skulk experiment set up. Then I'm setting up a separate wing for mineral experiments. So minerals in plant life we can find in caves underground. I took a sample from the lush cave under my castle, but I'm also finding other samples of underground, basically. But eventually I want to get a warden contained so we can study it behind, well, relatively closed walls. So that is it for my presence here on day 1. I will head back to the Komisch Tower, and I will report back in soon.
Begin tape recording for ASI Officer the Overseer, the ASI head watcher of this lab. I was sent by the head directors to oversee the operation of Hemi's lab. Progress on constructing the lab is going great. Once the lab is complete and studies begin, I will return. Until then, this is ASI Officer the Overseer signing off.
Komisch Science Corp Director Jacob Zeeb. Audio recording. The lab is complete and scientists from both the ASI and Komisch are starting the studies of the ancient city. The first Skulk samples have been put in the sample chambers ready for their analysis. And we have it. A live one, but we haven't contained it yet. I'll talk more about it later. Anyway, I have to go and finish up the chamber for it.
Hello again, Hemi back here. We've successfully contained the warden, which is great. Aye, be careful there. No. Don't make much noise. You know how angry it gets when it hears you. No, dude. No, we don't need that in the lab. Just toss it out. Okay? Get it out of here, Jeremiah. Anyway, the warden is successfully contained, and we're currently observing its behavior. We have noticed that some slimes have been getting into its chamber, and when it does not like it. Constantly bashes it in, bashes the slimes against the wall, and all sorts of things. But besides that, the warden is just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a thing of Skulk, and we are currently doing our sample experiments of every single Skulk type we could find in this ancient city. But that's all for this part of the lab. The mineral lab is currently having its first experiments done on the other side of the ancient city lab, the mineral lab. Yeah, I haven't talked much about it because that's not the main focus of this lab. The main focus was for the for studying the skulk, but yeah, you get the idea. You get idea, right? But yeah, that's really about it for this. That that's the what? No, no, yeah. Well, like I said, Jeremiah, that is not Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you put. Besides our experiments with the skulk at this ancient city, we also have experiments with the mineral lab. Our mineral lab is going great. We're getting experiments out of the deep slate, amethyst, moss from the lush caves. Pretty much everything we've been able to find that has been off-putting, to say the least, for mining. I don't know why I said off-putting. They're just, they're just minerals that we want to get the gist of them. Some people at the lab are suggesting that we do experiments with them with the skulk, which I personally think it's a bad idea. But it's up to the other director. Actually, I could intervene, but I kind of don't want to. But if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. And if something happens, oh well. Despite my many warnings to the scientists at the lab to not do this, not experiment with this skulk and the minerals, you know what they did? They just experimented with it anyway, creating this corrosion crystal. Corrosion crystal might look like your standard amethyst, but corrosion crystal is in the name. Well, it's not really corrosion, it's just another name that one of the scientists came up with. The actual name that we decided on was corruption crystal. And it corrupts, well, it slowly corrupts the person who holds it until they're just corruption crystal. We have it contained, but we don't know how long before, it corrupts everything around it. Like, don't worry, it's not like if you drop it on the earth, it's just going to corrupt the entire world. It's a slow process of it. Like, if it touches a person, it's relatively quick, but when it comes to build structures like what we used, it's a very, very slow process. But I knew this was going to be dangerous because I felt like there was going to be a loss of life with it. And guess what? 2 of the scientists died while making it. One of the scientists decided to hold it, then he was turned into the crystal, then one of them took it out of his hand and was being corrupted by it, and then he decided to go into the uncontained containment chamber, throw it in, and then he died. They're both dead. Like, I know this is gonna be very controversial with people outside saying, "Oh, you need to do better with containing your experiments." I had no part in this. It was the unwilling to listen to scientists that decided to experiment with it. But we are analyzing it, and we've decided just to keep it in there. We don't know what we're gonna do with it now. It is a sad day for all of us at the lab. Operations have just officially been ended at this lab, with the ASI refusing to fund for more time. Which sucks because we were getting a lot of useful info from this lab. Like, come on, ASI. We were getting a lot of info from it. So, right now I have to go break the bad news to everyone about it. And let's just get this over with. Oi, scientist of the lab. I have come to make an announcement. Operations we only have 3 days left of operations of this lab. I know, it's not my decision to do it. We didn't have enough funding to continue through for a while, so we have to cut operations now. Yes, I know that we were just starting with some of our things and getting interesting results, but we have no more funding for this. So, you all have 3 more days to get your analysis, and in 4 days, we will begin the pack-up procedures. Thank you.
Wait. Are we continuing without the SI?
No. We won't continue operations with this lab. Oh.
Hemi!
Yeah?
Can we just continue research here on our own after the funding dries?
Look, Carl. We only have this many days. If you want to get some vital research, do it now. Anyway, mates, good luck with your experiments, and I will see you then. Well, the day has finally come. The day where operations of the Ancient City Lab is officially over. Funding is officially over, and all our info has been transported aboard our shuttles, ready to be delivered back to the tower, while the info we're providing to the ASI is being delivered at the Komisch shuttle landing pad. That will be provided to the ASI to further advance their research. I like the operations at the lab, but the ASI did not give us enough funding to get all the info out. They just gave us enough funding, and then we just did our own thing. But I had fun researching at this lab. I had fun with the scientists. We are just ending the operations here. We are providing the location to it now. So the location is going to be put up right here. And to everyone watching and listening in to these recordings that I have made for a routine broadcast, end of lab broadcast, I thank you. And we will continue this with our next operation in our nether lab. But until then, I will see you later. That was great. Huh? Who's there? What is it? Why did you have to come all the way up here?
Hemi, we found it.
Wait, you're joking. You actually found it?
Dig team reports that they found the skull.
Tell the shuttle crew to prepare it for launch. We are going to see Genesis.